community managed seed system status, challenges and opportunities. We have three panel speakers, and this session is chaired by Dr. Tara Satyavadi, Director, Indian Institute of Millet Research. I just wanted to give a brief introduction about the chairperson of this session. Dr. Tara Satyavadi is currently working as the Director of Indian Institute of Millet Research, Hyderabad. Dr. Tara has served as Project Coordinator ICAR AICRP on pearl millet and served as Principal Scientist in the Division of Genetics IARI, New Delhi. Dr. Tara has contributed significantly to reorient pearl millet program and has brought it into the present day of fame. She received a lot of awards and recognition, including Outstanding Women Scientist Award in 2016, Outstanding Millet Scientist Award in 2018. She also received national recognition for outstanding research contribution in pearl millet improvement in 2018 and 20. She is one of the recipients of Professor M.S. Swaminathan Women Scientist in 2019. Welcome, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to you all. Though my presentation and session was to be done tomorrow, due to some urgencies, requested the organizers, and they have overwhelmingly accommodated my request and have included me into this present session. And thanks to the previous session chair, Dr. Rana, who was to chair this. Thank you for accommodating me here. So the topic which I had to deliver, the talk was on seed systems, linkages and synergy, enhancing food, nutrition, health, climate resilience building with special reference to millet. And also, since this session is going to be on community seed banking, so I would also touch upon those things. So if you look into the seed systems and importance, the most important component in agriculture is seed, and the seed system has a vital role, and it involves activities associated with the seed production, multiplication, processing and marketing to ultimate use by the seed, use of the seed by the farmers. So whatever we are producing, the seed should be of good quality, then only we'll be able to realize the expected yields from there. So if you look into in the previous cases or from the age-old practices, the farmers have the habit of saving their own seed, and also the local seed from different co-farmers or local land races or varieties is also happening side by side along with the seed production of newly released varieties or improved varieties and technologies. And if you see, farmers, they are not just restricting themselves to only one crop, depending on their resources, agroecological situation, conditions. They grow a wide range of crops. Though the green revolution has promoted monoculture, but still there are farmers, especially in the tribal areas and other places, where they take up cultivation of a large number of crops. And for this, when they take up large number of crops on their farm, they need resilient seed systems, because the seed produced also should be available to the farmers to be taken at that point of time. And this resilience in seed system and the non-availability of quality seed for such conditions really poses a challenge to the farmers for realizing the expected yield. And here there is right now we are sitting in the secondary center of origin of rice biodiversity. Not only for rice, this tract is rich in agrobiodiversity for many other crops. Even in millets, just now we have witnessed the kind of varieties this tract has, and the people have showcased us starting from rice, millets, pulses, fruits, tubers, many things are there. So if you look into an overall scenario of seed system, though I try to depict here millet seed system, it is in general applicable to most of the seed systems, whatever crop you can think of. If you see here, we do have formal seed system where we go for production of breeder seed, nucleus seed, breeder seed, foundation certified, and then it goes to farmers. On the other hand, we do have informal seed system also, where it would be like farmers' own seed, or it will be going to from the local market, or they will be taking up exchanging the seed among themselves, or sometimes subsidized seed. So when this seed is grown, then it is cultivated, we get the harvest, it is stored, and then whatever good quality of that is there, if the farmer is able to do some selection before harvesting and store it separately, then they use it as a farm saved seed and try to maintain that. So in this process, we need to understand that there are different sources when we talk of informal seed system. It could be farm saved seed, seed exchange, seed borrowing, or through local market, community managed seed system. And most of the cases, in all these cases, it is only the farmer's own saved seed that forms the basis for your informal seed system. Even in the local market also, again, it is the exchange of the farmer's own saved seed. And in such cases, how do we develop the local seed system? So either we can go through sharing seeds through the village level institutions, or go for development of community seed banks, or promote indigenous millets and associated crops. Because I'm associated with millets, I fondly often refer to millets. And this will increase self-reliance in seed. And if you see on the right hand side, how the farmer is saving his seed. In his home only, they try to preserve and conserve the seed. And whenever they want to do, they take them out and take up cultivation. Not only this is only example where he or she is saving some quantity seed, little quantity. But there are cases where the farmers do save seed in large quantities also when they see that there is a potential for this seed and demand from their co-farmers. And when we talk of this informal seed system and go into this community seed banks, these are the local institutions where the farmers collectively store and manage seed, and this session will be focusing on that. And we also have farmer to farmer seed exchange, indigenous seed systems and practices. And how these things have come into picture is the traditional informal seed system, it helps in maintaining agrobiodiversity, to promote food security, support sustainable farming practices, and it provides resilience into the system and also maintains the variability and gives resilience to the farmer in unforeseen conditions like drought or any other stresses. So when we talk of community managed seed systems, these community managed seed system, they should provide quality seed. Especially when we talk of community managed seed system from a perspective, if we are talking of maybe rice or millets, they need to have, the farmer should be able to provide sufficient quantity of seed. In the community seed bank, we are saving only little quantity, but in certain cases, in desired varieties, they'll be storing, depending on the availability of space and other things, they'll be storing large quantities. And this also will form as alternative contingency seed in case of crop failure. And these systems should be evolved on local agroecological systems, market needs, community food needs, and local institutional and market linkages. So for this, we need to link up with the collaborating institutions and organizations. And to ensure quality seed supply, we should provide them with all the necessary information and inputs for testing the seed quality also. And we should also be able to provide training to manage quality crop harvest, grading and processing. Just growing of a crop and then harvesting does not make it fit to be seed. So we need to follow certain standards, and that awareness and training has to be given to the local growers who are contributing to the community seed bank. And then to promote participatory breeding and protect farmers' rights on their varieties. And also through this we should promote local nurseries to supply annual and perennial plantations. So this is on the informal side. When we talk of the formal side, we have private seed companies, public sector organizations, state and national corporations, agriculture universities, then research institutes, international research institutes, and these are fitting under certain rules and regulations like the Seed Act, then where now we have in 2013 set of standards of seed quality, then the varieties that come into the seed chain are released through a varietal release program, wherein the varieties are tested over locations over years after testing them for different parameters like yield and different yield components and stability. So then only they'll be identified for release and then released through state and central varietal release committees. Then there is a seed policy and regulatory framework adapted in order to channelize the seed. Then there is a IPR in place, seed branding, supply agencies, all these come into picture. And then those companies or those individuals who are producing seed and selling in commercial level, their seed company registrations also happen. So many things are there in picture. Now when we talk of millet seed systems, we have many millet crops. Here I should show you one picture wherein this is the millet map of India. Almost all the states have different millets in their respective states. And among all these, here pearl millet and sorghum are major crops. Then ragi comes in the third place. The seed in case of pearl millet, the pearl millet is a highly cross-pollinated crop. So the formal seed system mostly focuses on hybrid seed. In sorghum also it is often cross-pollinated crop. There we have both varieties and hybrids. In pearl millet also we have varieties. But mostly the public and private, mostly they focus on hybrid seed production. When we talk of community seed bank, in such cases, we'll be able to conserve only the local varieties, and that may not be pure as per the standards. So we need to look into grow them and see the amount of variability, composition and all these things come into picture when we talk of cross-pollinated crops. Community seed banks would be effective when we talk of self-pollinated crops, because in self-pollinated crops there is no point of mixing or getting the variety going to other direction. So in case of here, if you see in whatever we have seen today in the exhibition, we have seen many local races or land races of ragi, some sorghum and few pearl millet. And remaining all others are different pulses and other seeds. So in pearl millet also, I was going along with Dr. Vetrivantan, we saw very small seed. And it appears to be a cross between the wild and the cultivated types. So that is a material which is not either hybrid nor a variety. So there are certain issues which need to be addressed. But in case of self-pollinated crops, community seed banks will be the best to preserve our local diversity. Then If we see the share of the seed systems of millets in India, in sorghum we have formal seed system where we take the seed for kharif sorghum from private sector, public sector and all other things. Whereas in rabi sorghum, most of it is informal. It is the farm saved seed that is coming from the farmers. Because most of the people in rabi sorghum, they prefer Maldandi type. And Maldandi rice, again, is a farm saved seed. Though research efforts are being made to produce Maldandi type material, still it has not come out. So most of the material in case of rabi sorghum is coming from informal farm saved seed. And then forage we are getting from both formal and informal, but mostly it is formal because many of the private players are in picture here. In pearl millet, for the grain again it is formal, for forage also it is formal. Very few cases, in case of where in tribal areas like Rajasthan and other places, you find the local land races of pearl millet saved and grown by the farmers for their consumption. And in finger millet again it is informal, and other millets also it is mostly informal. And so in order to bring together both the formal and informal thing, we need to integrate the seed system. So for this we need to adopt the technologies from formal sector for improving local system and use informal channels for dissemination. So that would be the way. We cannot go isolatedly or parallelly that this is an informal system or a formal system. When we talk of giving economic benefit to the farmer, we should see the advantages in both the systems and bring them together. That is what we are trying to say. So how we can integrate these systems? Seed system, informal way and formal way. The right mix is to mix the formal and informal supply channels, market and non-market activities. And so how we can go about, like we can go for seed village programs or participatory plant breeding, wherein we can try to mobilize the farmers in those areas and take up seed production of those local material in a formal way. Means it is not that we are trying to train those farmers who are taking up seed production about the formal seed production practices. So this is one of the way how the local seed varieties are preserved through cultural traditions. Here this is one picture where in Sikkim they give a welcome drink which is loaded with local varieties of ragi. So to maintain that, again the local farmers will take up production of those local varieties only. And here, when we talk of millets at national level, different states, I said different millets are there. This is one case where in Uttarakhand, Sama or Jangora they say, that is barnyard millet. They use it very, in a bigger way they use in festivals, fasting and many other things. And during that process, they prefer only one type of barnyard millet grain, and that is again a locally grown material they use. So such kinds will promote the production of locally grown material. And then we see in Himalayas we have a large number of material. Millets are there, then amaranth is there, beans are there, buckwheat is there, then finger millet, foxtail, proso, we have even red rice. All these things, these are saved and preserved as nutritious food, but they are preserved in a traditional way. So these are used in developing and preparing local traditional dishes. So people understand the importance of those and then they preserve them. And again it is done through informal seed system. That is where again the local farm saves seed. Now when we come to the concept of this community seed bank, here we involve the local farmers, they preserve the local material. That is happening one side. At the same time, the local tribes or the villagers or the remaining people who are associated with either FPOs or NGOs are also taking up seed production. In the beginning, in the morning, in the inaugural session, I said that there are tribal people, farmers who have come up with seed production through different formal agencies. Like we have different organizations like Sabala, then Adivasa Vikas Society. Many people are there who are going into the tribal areas, training the tribal people and taking up seed production. On one way, this we are trying to use the localities for taking up large scale production of seed in the formal way. But on the other hand, the same thing can be employed to produce large quantity of the locally saved land races or the local varieties. So we have a situation where we can exploit, not in a negative way, the skill and potential for increasing the seed production and increasing the farmer's income. So through this way, we have a case study here with the Vijayanagaram regional station, where we have given some quantity of seed to them, and they have gone into the tribal areas and they trained the farmers, and then they were able to successfully produce large quantities of seed. And these figures are only from the tribal areas. So these are the farmers who are now successfully producing seed here. Now coming to the community seed bank, then the main features would be to manage and maintain by the community. It maintains local genetic diversity. It provides pure and quality seed. All these things are there. So this can be happening. We can have either field gene bank or village seed bank or community bank for water or food. So we can see that small quantities of seed are saved for future and that can be used later. If you look into the community biodiversity management, we have here a case of MSSRF themselves here. They are doing for rice, pulses, millets, medicinal plants. And what are the practices they are following are, they are trying to go for in situ on-farm conservation, participatory varietal selection, participatory plant breeding, again quality seed production, community gene seed grain bank and all these things. And the methodology is to re-exploration land races of rice. Then we can go for millets, for many other things. Then the establishment of grassroots institutions and all these things can happen. So this way we can strengthen and improve the production capabilities of the farmers and take the advantages of the community seed gene banks. Then this way, through this way we can go and develop the local land races. Just now we heard last year, I think in Odisha, government was able to successfully come out with 4 local land races as varieties. Dr. Prasad also is here, Dr. Varaprasad, he is also instrumental in bringing them out. 2 are coming from Raimati Guriaji and then 2 are coming from different places. Similar cases can be taken into, and such things can be adopted in different crops. This way we will be empowering not only the local farmers, the farm women with infrastructure, and then we can give them training and other things. This way it is a holistic development of the local farming groups. And here you can see there are many promising traditional varieties of finger millet through community banks, like you have Telugu Mandia, Chili Mandia, Jam Mandia, Lala Mandia, Kalia Mandia, Bati Mandia, Kurkriti Mandia, Laudu Mandia, many things. So these can be saved, protected, and also can be used into breeding new varieties, also used for informal seed production and formal seed production. So This way we'll be able to support, and these can be done through grassroots institutions like FPOs, farmer societies, farmers federations, farmer clubs, women self-help groups, then FPCs. Many such things can be utilized to bring them into one umbrella and then support and promote these seed banks. So with this, I thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to share my views on this.
Hello. Next speaker is Dr. Israel Oliver King. Dr. Oliver King is an ethnobotanist and director of Biodiversity Program Area at MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. With over 25 years of experience in biodiversity conservation and sustainable agriculture. His research includes studies on crop genetic resources utilization, agrobiodiversity conservation, and community empowerment. He has led international projects supported by FAO, IFAD, focusing on farm conservation, gender empowerment, and resilience building for tribal communities.
Good morning, one and all. First of all, let me thank the team here for giving me this opportunity to share some of our experience working with different agroecologies, particularly working with the indigenous community, local communities in the case of seed systems. And Dr. Tara Satyavadi has set a tone, and he has created a kind of argument here how the local seed system and the formal seed system can work together for empowering local communities. We are all aware, I'm pitching from the point of view of the communities and their challenges and the current opportunities, how the team here we can move towards having a better seed system for the local communities. From that angle I am pitching. We all know the indigenous communities, they have their own mechanism of saving seeds and moving that seeds to the generation after generation. And mostly it is helping their subsistence farming in many cases. But as we move by, the agrarian transition happens. There are other seed system, formal seed system also making roadways to even landscapes like Koraput region and so on. That is influencing on many ways in terms of homogenization of agriculture, erosion of genetic material, availability with the hands of indigenous communities and so on. That is actually seriously impacting on their resilient capacity, particularly in the vagaries of changing monsoon and so on. So, also there are other influences. We are talking about people choice in terms of hybrid varieties, and also looking at their requirement, aspiration point of view, particularly income point of view, the usage of farm parcels for different kinds of crop and varieties, that is seriously influencing on the choice that they are actually making at the household level. And it is very important when we talk in the context of agroecology like Koraput, where we used to celebrate as a globally important agriculture heritage system. When we review actually on the ground, it's steeply declining. The farmers, they are having a wide range of material at the household level or the village level. It is steeply declining. That is what we witnessed. When Dr. S.D. Sarma actually explored in way back in 90s or so, when they have started, Dr. S.D. Sharma and there are other colleagues. This is a kind of a collection that we have made. And we know, our team knows what kind of challenges actually the farmers are having. Even for keeping and retaining at the on-farm level, there are challenges, many challenges are there. And also I wish to link it to the recent kind of survey at the South Asia with the participation of FAO and many other partners, Asian Farmers Association and so on, in the context of forgotten foods. That has come out as a kind of a global manifesto and also Asian manifesto, and farmers kind of practice, community of practice also have come. And people are moving towards that. And the survey we have conducted with over 3,000 farmers across 17 countries that indicated that it's a perception of the community, it's an expression of the community, particularly the custodian farmers. When we ask this question, what are the key limitations for them to retain and conserve and continue with traditional crops, forgotten crops, which is very closely associated with the seed system. They say that the seed production, the multiplication, and also the distribution within their own community is declining. That means that the endogenous seed system is actually fragmented, and there are many other influences are making roadways in. The other aspect, they are also talking about the market. When I produce something, where is the market? It's in the context of seed as well as context of produce that they are making as a food. So what they are looking for, actually there are two areas similar to that of that. The seed production system needs to be improved, and they are looking for skill sets, improved methods for management, and also legal support from that angle. The other aspect is that related to market. These are the two important kind of determinant that is going to be really helping for continuation of community-based seed system in different countries, not only in India, across the Southeast Asia. So moving from there, we are talking about this custodian farmers concept, at least for the last 30, 40 years. Right from Dr. Bhuvan Stapit has initiated from Nepal, from Biodiversity International, there are several literatures that talks about the contribution of custodian farmers as a seed keeper, saver, sharer, and also participating in innovation, 4 levels. And thanks to initiative of Professor Swaminathan, bringing this Protection of Plant Variety and Farmers' Rights Act, and now in the country there are many methods to recognize at the individual level and also at the community level. And the foundation also have contributed immensely, and which is also recognized at the national level, local level, national level, as well as international level. When we talk about that particular aspect of it, on one side we are talking about on-farm conservation leading to food and nutrition security and strengthening resilience. On the other side, how much they are aware of legal kind of instrument that we have in the country, let it be PPFRA provisions or Biodiversity Act provisions, how it is actually percolating down, even reaching to the custodian farmer. That is one of the challenging area. Often when we see they are the provider of seeds, whether it is to the gene bank or it is the PPFRA system, they are mostly the contributor. Very often they say that the material that is being used in the mainstream R&D system or in the seed system, in the formal system, that is not actually reaching back to the community. So there is a critical gap probably we need to think in this particular forum. How as a user they are providers, and how that can go back to the community, how that can benefit to them. That is one of the important area. We have made a lot of milestones. Several people are recognized. Today we had Raimadi on the podium and recognized in different places. There are so many. But there are, the real want is that they are the provider, but how this can go back to the community, that cycle that we need to really talk about it. The other aspect, I just wanted to pitch 2 aspects of it. In the last 20-25 years, 2-pronged strategy that we have taken to address strengthening the seed system. The first one is the alternative seed system, and that Dinesh is here and the team Vasan, and many people working around that, including MS Swaminathan Foundation. And there are constituency partner across the country. In agroecology, they are working on that. The concept of rebuilding the indigenous community seed system. And why this is needed? When there is a seed shortage at the state level, and when there is a demand by the local community to make their own choices, there is an alternative seed system is essential. So here we have experimented in Koraput region. This has worked with both local variety, farmers variety, as well as improved variety. But when we look at the impact that it has created, over a period of time, this has been very helpful for improved variety. So what could be the better strategy for retention of this material on farm, and how that can be achieved? Because we need to have both balanced way. One should not influence the other. And certainly the improved variety definitely influence on many scales. We are talking about productivity or income that will have. So at that context, how the local community, they can retain their material for their own use and resilience building. That is one aspect really we need to discuss in this next 2 days. The other approach what we have taken, particularly address the local, strengthening the local system. A professor used to call it as a 4C approach. If you look at this particular figure, this cuts across conservation, production, processing, and marketing. I have put 2 circles here. That first circle is related to the knowledge, rescuing diversity, mapping diversity, and also indigenous knowledge documentation, and conservation linking, on-farm conservation, and ex-situ. The second dimension is that related to PVS, participatory varietal selection, quality seed production, and also strengthening skills of the local community. The matter ends there, and then it leads to their food system. For example, processing, reducing drudgery, and improving value chain. Therefore, they can attain improved income using their own material. So here in this circle 1 and 2, there are some challenges, particularly related to the community-based seed system, related to quality of seed, and also capacity building area, and there's also formalization of community-based seed system, and market access. When we talk about market access, particularly labeling and farmers' variety labeling and all, the critical area that we need to really strengthen. And MSSRF actually willing to work with IAMR, ICRISAT, and also state instruments. We wish to work with them to move forward from this particular milestone to the next milestone. And having said that, these are the important area when we talk about sustainability aspects of it. The important area I touched upon related to training, quality seed, and also linking with markets, potential markets. The technological innovation, Dr. Soumya touched upon that. What kind of technology that can be leveraged in terms of digitization? We talk about 2 things. In case of Biodiversity Act, PBR, People's Biodiversity Register that we are talking about. In case of PPFRA, we talk about registration mechanism. How that can made more open, that can be helpful for the local community and also for the research and development. So moving forward from here, how that can be achieved in addition to registration of variety that lead into the R&D, how this digitization that can happen, and how their community knowledge also can be protected, because the farmer rights talks about protection of their rights in different ways. And the last and final one is related to financial sustainability. Many contexts we see that we talk about a lot of seed banks, but over time the community themselves, they lose interest. So how to sustain the interest of the community? Can it be an incentive mechanism? Is it only the Genome Xavier Award is enough? What can be done continuous way? We talk about this 4C is one of the method to give them the kind of support in long run. But is there any other method that we can think of that helps keep interest among the custodian farmers, both men and women, and the tribal community in different landscapes move forward? And what, in order to achieve that, what kind of a policy probably we may need it? Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Dr. Vetrivendran. Vetrivendran Mani is a genetic resource scientist at ICRISAT Gene Bank in Hyderabad. He specializes in plant genetic resources, mainly focusing on conserving germplasm for dryland millets. Vetrivendra's primary focus revolves around strategizing and conducting germplasm research to enhance the efficiency of conserving and utilizing valuable collection. Dr. Vetrivendran has authored over 100 publications encompassing research papers, review articles, and book chapters. Furthermore, Dr. Vetrivendran has guided 7 MSc and 5 PhD students. Over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for a brief introduction. So, allow me to display the slide. Okay, already it's there. Okay. So, thank you very much, sir, for a brief introduction. And respected chair, respected chairs and the researchers here. So, thank you very much for providing this opportunity. So, I will be talking today on linking executive gene bank with the on-farm community managed seed system. So, Oliver sir was talking largely on executive gene bank, institute gene bank. So, I will be talking how we can link the on-farm conservation with the executive gene banks. So, here, okay, you know very well that two types of plant genetic resources conservation. One is in situ conservation, which is conservation of the biological diversity within their natural habitat. That's what MSSRF and we are doing so much to conserve the biological diversity on farm. A lot of farmers are doing a great job in ensuring the biodiversity conserved on farm. And a lot of varieties are released also. A lot of farmers and their varieties getting released through the system, and it is getting into the seed system. And another one is extensive conservation. So this is conservation of the biological diversity outside their natural habitats. That is called extensive gene bank, where we are conserving the germplasm and we are utilizing the germplasm in the breeding program. And through that breeding program, there are a lot of varieties getting released also. So that way, these two systems are there, you know very well. But how to integrate these two and then how to link these two so that both will get benefited with each other, and then biological diversity is conserved on farm as well as in the gene bank for the present and future generation. So you know very well that there are almost 7.4 million germplasm accessions are conserved globally, and in the more than 1,750 gene banks, and almost 25 to 30% of the germplasms are largely unique, and of which almost 10% of them are the crop-wide relatives. Most interestingly, the 11% of the total germplasm conserved globally are conserved in the CGR gene bank. So that is a more important thing. And these CGR gene banks provide the germplasm to the researchers globally, and that is where okay, so here you can see here. So this is one database which is called VIEWS, World Information and Early Warning System on Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture. This database, you can see almost 5.9 million seed sample germplasm accessions are conserved. Here one can see the country-wise, state-wise, and district-wise, and then crop-wise, one can see the status of plant genetic resources. And here I wanted to tell you one thing. Here is the number of genus which is conserved globally. So you can see more than 7,320 genus conserved, and it is available for the present and future generation also. And the number of species that conserved globally, you see, more than 51,000 the species are conserved globally ex situ. This is available for the current and future generation. So that's very important point to note, so that this will be available for the researchers for the present and future generation. This is another database where one can see the plant genetic resources status. So here also you can see the institute-wise, country-wise, and crop-wise, the number of accessions conserved globally. And you can also place the request, germplasm request, through this portal, and you can get the germplasm from the different gene banks. Okay, so here I mentioned about almost 11% of the total germplasm which are conserved in the CGR gene bank. It is almost 0.74 million accessions are conserved. And this is very important because the cereals, grain legumes, and millets, forages, tree species, roots and tubers, and banana, all these crops are so much important for food security, nutritional security, and also forage security. And these crops and their germplasms are conserved in the CGR gene banks. And this is about the status of research gene bank, where we are conserving almost 131,000 germplasm accessions, which are originating from 144 countries. And most importantly, we have supplied almost 1.72 million seed sample to researchers in 150 countries. And this is how the conserved germplasm reaches the farmers and reaches the researchers. And through the researchers and the released varieties, it reaches the farmers also. So this conserved germplasm, we are storing it in the medium-term storage condition, which is, we can store the germplasm for 15 to 20 years, and the storage temperature is 4 degrees Celsius, and you can store the germplasm for 15 to 25 years. And this one is long-term storage condition. We are storing the germplasm in minus 20 degrees Celsius with the reduced moisture content, and you can store the germplasm for almost 25 to 50 years also, even more also. Apart from conserving the germplasm, we are also safety duplicating our collection, safety duplicating our executive collections in two level. One is at global seed vault, where we safety duplicated almost 96% of our collections, and also CGR gene bank, all the CGR gene bank and also the research gene bank, we have safety duplicated our collection in global seed vault. This is for the future generation also. And also, apart from the safety duplication at Svalbard, but we also safety duplicated our collection in different countries and different gene banks. So we safety duplicated our collection in USDA Gene Bank, IITA Gene Bank, ICARDA Gene Bank, and World Veg Gene Bank also, as a safety backup, as a block box arrangement, if in case needed in future, in case we missed the germplasm or any other issues happens, then we can easily bring back this germplasm so that we can use it in the future program. So how the germplasm reach farmers actually, whatever we conserve in the executive gene bank, how it reaches the farmers. So you see here from research gene bank, we supplied almost 1.72 million seed sample to researchers globally in 150 countries, and they utilized the germplasm and they developed the varieties, and it got released, and then it reaches the farmers also. And here is the example how many germplasm and breeding lines utilized by the researchers. So almost 281 cultivars released in 81 countries globally from research supplied germplasm and breeding lines. Out of this, almost 117 germplasm accession which are directly released as cultivar in 156, released as cultivar in 152 countries. And here one of the example where the conserved germplasm which goes to the system. For example, in the project Bihar Center of Excellence Millet Value Chain, this is funded by the Bihar government, where we are testing almost hundreds and thousands of germplasm in the Bihar state through the partnership with the universities there. And then apart from testing, the tested and then adopted varieties will get released as a varieties through the NORS partners. And also the best lines will be used in the breeding program, in the breeding pipeline. Apart from these two components, but we are also working as a holistic approach to bring the seed system in, and then we are also bringing the agronomy and mechanization, and we are also bringing the value chain. Apart from these 5-6 components, but we also need to bring the capacity building component also. So all this area we are working to strengthen this Center of Excellence millet value chain. So here I just put 1 or 2 slides on how we can link executive gene bank with the on-farm community managed seed system. So here, from the executive gene bank, either we can introduce the germplasm back to the farming community, or we can do rematriation. Rematriation is the process of returning germplasm conserved in the executive gene bank back to the farming community. So that is the process. Either we can introduce the germplasm, if any farmers interested, okay, I want this type of land races, so if they ask us, then we can give the germplasm back to them. Or if they ask, okay, this is the land races that we were conserving 100 years before or 50 years before, we need such germplasm back to our community means, then we can also reintroduce this germplasm. This process is called rematriation. This can be achieved through the community seed bank, the MSSRF and other organization working, so that we can work together with MSSRF and other NGOs and organization to support this process. And this is one of the examples where research gene bank responded. The project was funded by GIZ in 2023. This was in response to the political crisis because of the Ukraine and Russian conflict. So research gene bank received the fund for this work, and then scientists in this one, African Gene Bank, they tested the land races, promising land races, and then multiplied the seed and then supplied the seeds to the vulnerable households in Niger and Chad. So almost 2,028 seed kits were supplied. Each seed kit was about 5 kg each. And that boosted the productivity and it strengthened the resilience of the vulnerable households. And then the key challenges overall, if you see the community seed banks, the first conservation of the germplasm by the farmers itself is a big challenge because they need to get the support and resources to conserve the germplasm for long time. So the first one is we need to do capacity building and training on conservation. So how to conserve the germplasm and then how to efficiently conserve the germplasm for long time. So it's not just storing for the 1 or 2 years. We need to store them for many years. So we need to do capacity building on conservation. And also we need to train the farmers on quality seed production, how to produce the land races which are open pollinated, how to produce the seeds which are self-pollinated. So those kind of things also we need to train the farmers so that the genetic integrity of the particular land race is maintained over the time through the seed production system also. So the proper seed, quality seed production also it's important. And then another one is resource generation. So this resource generation can be made through linking the community gene bank with the market and then value chain. So that way we need to support the community gene bank to strengthen their resource generation also. So not only conservation, but we also link them with the resource generation. So here I try to put a small graph like, okay, from X2 gene bank, we can introduce the germplasm to the farming community, or we can remateriate the germplasm. We can support in capacity building on conservation and seed production from the expertise in the X2 gene bank. And then we can, so this way we can link the X2 gene bank with the community gene bank, but this is not sufficient. So we also need to link the X2 gene bank with the farmers producer organization, or we can make them as the private entity so that they can start.
Dr. Vetrivantan, sorry to interrupt. We may have to stick to time, please.
It's okay. So not only the conservation, but they will also put in the seed, quality seeds, and then they will sell the seeds in the market. That way, they can generate the revenues. So they will generate the revenue by marketing the seeds. So this is my summary. So large number of germplasms are conserved ex situ, but these conserved germplasm we need to utilize in the crop improvement program, and also we can reintroduce the germplasm back to the farming community. And most importantly, the germplasm which are conserved by the farmers, that also need to be conserved in the X2 gene bank, so that the land races currently the farmers are conserving that need to go back to the X2 gene bank for the present and future generation also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Bhaskar Chandrapatra. He joined Indian Agriculture Research Service in 1990 at ICAR, Central Rice Research Institute, Cuttack, and served in different capacities, including director of the institute. Presently, he is working as emeritus scientist at the same institute. He is distinguished scientist in the field of plant genetic resources, economic botany, and plant taxonomy. He is a recipient of Dr. Brahmam Memorial Award for outstanding contribution on plant diversity conservation by Odisha Botanical Society in 2015. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, respected chairperson, esteemed delegates, and dear friends. So my topic is an evolving local right seed system through IT-enabled, self-sufficient, sustainable seed system in rice. This 4S, 4R, involving Odisha aromatic rice as Aero rice for export. So this is a project we got from RKVI, from Government of Odisha, Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. And this is if you see the current status of Indian rice, we are producing about 112 million tons of milled rice and about 170 million tons of paddy. And then we are harvesting about 43 million hectares of rice land, and annual value about $53 billion. Yearly we are receiving about 29% total irrigation water. And if you see, it provides livelihood to 150 million rural poor, about 40%, and it is grown by 67 million farm families, about 56% of farmers, and it also feeds 0.8 billion people, around 65% of population of India, they depend on this rice crop. And what are the challenges we are getting? By 2030, we have to build a green agriculture by increasing the rice productivity by 40%, reducing the poverty by 30%, and increasing profitability by 200%, doubling the farmer's income, and reducing the pollution and emission by 20%, which can meet all the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. So these are the common challenges what we are facing in the rice farming. The two top most important factors are quality seed and water. So seed comes at the first. And besides, other factors are also there, like climate change, growing labor crisis, and managing rice straw. It's a burning problem nowadays in northern parts of the country. Basing on this, when in the morning somebody was telling Professor Swaminathan started his research career in Odisha, and you will be all happy to know that in 1952 he joined CRRI for a short period, and then he conceived the idea of making an exploration program. That is how the Jeypore Botanical Survey started in 1955 to 59. For about 5 years, an entire tract, Jeypore tract, is now designated worldwide, and it is one of the secondary center of origin of cultivated rice. And basing on this his work, again, in 1955 to 59, about 1,700 rice germplasm, all traditional varieties were collected from this Jeypore tract. Jeypore tract means now it is 4 districts of Koraput, the undivided Koraput districts, and some parts of Vijayanagaram and Visakhapatnam districts of Andhra Pradesh, and some parts of Chhattisgarh also, Bastar and other parts. So that's a bigger tract. So if you said, recently, about 10 years back, he visited our institute, and then he had said that the seeds of Green Revolution actually started. It was the seeds of Green Revolution were first sown in the field of CRRI, resulting the country from insufficiency to self-sufficiency in food grain production. So this is the vision of Professor Swaminathan, and that is how this Tai Chi native and other things also started. It was introduced in the morning. Somebody was telling Dr. G.V. Chalam was there at CRRI. He introduced Tai Chi native with the help of Professor Swaminathan and other things. So having said all these things, this is the opportunities what we are having in the rice farming. Knowing the limitations of paddy cultivation, which is less remunerative, it becomes vital that the farmers get right quality seed in right quantity, at right place, in right price, in right time, so that their income is increased. So basing on this 4S, 4R, we are now developing two models. That is CRRI. One is, these are two extension models: self-sufficient sustainable seed system for rice. This is 4S, 4R. This is mostly this seed, major rice seed. I mean, high-yielding seed or traditional variety. But mostly the second project was self-sufficient sustainable seed system for aromatic rice, 4S, 4R, and we call it brand rice for arrow rice. So this second project is mostly for export purpose and marketing, so the farmer's income is doubled. So I'll be discussing mostly this model 1. This is mostly IT enabled, and this was funded in 2017-22, 5 years ago. This project is already over, and this is the model what we had conceived, and several organizations were involved here. CRRI, of course, the parent organization, and then URSAC was there, and the Government of India also, it was a part of the program, and our KVK, Krishi Vigyan Kendra also, what is involved. Many programs were distributed to different stakeholders, and the project output was this: right quality, right quantity, right time, right preference, and right cost. Everything is now achieved. Now we have already registered 5 FPOs, farmer producer organizations, and about rupees 81 lakhs for income has been made from seed selling seed, and more than 5,000 members are there for 5 FPOs, and they have already owned their own land, about 10 lakhs each, and the RKV also provided them the godowns and seed processing machines. Now coming to the output, the physical output, as I was telling, there are 5 FPOs were found in Mohanga, Athagad, Niyali, Badamba, and Banking. All these blocks are in Cuttack district, and they have constructed 5 godowns. Of course, the funding was from RKV. They have established 5 seed processing units. Everything was provided by RKV. They have developed one app also, and then training modules on seed production and FPO formation. This was also a module was formed by KVK, and this training was imparted to all of them. And one business plan for seed production was also made. That is how they have become sustainable. And then if you see the physical output, it will about 5,000 farmers have been enrolled in the FPC. and 248 farmer interest groups also are formed. About 40% farmers belong to small and marginal farmers, and 14% are women members. And if you see the assets, about 5 sales center come office units were opened with all office equipment. About 17 lakhs equity were collected from FIGs. The FPCs have also purchased 2.08 to 1 acre land from the roadside, and construction of godown and seed processing plant worth about rupees 224 lakhs under RKV funding has been done, and about rupees 12 lakhs matching equity grant have been given to 5 FPCs from the RKV fund. And then if you see the seed production, about 3,700 quintals of quality certified paddy seed were produced in 312 acres. And the seed certification, of course, unless it is certified by seed certification, you can sell them in the market. That is how the OSOPACA, Odisha State Seed Certification Authority, they have certified their seed as foundation certified seed. They cannot certify them as a breeder seed or any other thing. Only truthfully labeled seed, you can say TL seed. Revenue of about 65 lakhs they have earned in the last 5 financial years. And training programs were also conducted by KVKs and other our organizations. About 81 seed growers for paddy seed production, they have taken the training, 25 local resource persons for management of FPCs, 38 leaders of FPC have been trained in marketing of seed. And the outcome is, as I have been telling all this, the right quality, right quantity, right time, right preference, they are getting. Cost of seed production has also gone down. A sustainable seed system is developed in the Cuttack district. Now the impact is under study. We have collected about 1,000 seed samples for quality parameters test, and it was found that keeping other things constant, this model, 4S4R model seed had an average yield advantage of 12%, and other seed sources giving the farmers an additional income of about 8,500 rupees per hectare. If they see the impact, you can see the comparison. The average yield is compared to other seed. This 4S4R seed has already got, I have already told you, see the graphical, you can see the farmer seed and the 4S4R seed. Now coming to model 2, this is aromatic rice, mostly for to increase the farmer's income, and then marketing, and then export, of course, in the long run. And same model here, we have taken the indigenous aromatic rices, mostly the district level, whatever the farmers they choose, that they grow those seeds we have taken, mostly the indigenous aromatic, short grain aromatic rices. The same objective, only the aromatic, the component is changed, the aromatic rice. And the same model we have adopted. And future thrust, of course, these are some of the important varieties, high yielding, improved varieties, but they are all high yielding, but aromatic. That is the important. So this is for the export purpose. And with this, I conclude my talk with acknowledging RKVI Government of India, RKVI Government of Odisha, Secretary and DG ICR, Director ICR NRRI, and ICR CRRI, and Farmers of Odisha, of course. Thank you for your patient listening.
Thank you, sir. Two custodian farmers, Dr. Raimadi Guria and Mr. Pradhani, they will share.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. This session, we had a good presentation from all the speakers, and now the session is any questions. If someone has any question related to any presentation, please.
They have been doing a good job, that's okay. But the point is, they have not come even anywhere near these challenges. So I sincerely feel that they all should be roped in and shown this kind of a presentation that, oh, where are you? You are far away from these activities. These are all very serious, I should say, lacuna. And I think it is at least as a corporate social responsibility, because all these corporations, whether it is NSE or SSC and all that, naturally they have a target of achieving some goal in terms of profit also. But here, they should not think of profit. They should think it as a corporate social responsibility and enter into this field directly. I think that is a very important submission I would like to make. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That. Any other questions? Any queries?
Madam, this is not a question, a small suggestion. Actually, the presentation from Vetrivendan and by Batra Actually, these seeds, quality seeds, right time and all, there are 780 KVKs are there. If this thing is given, that KVK can produce the quality seeds that cater to the needs of the farmers. Now the ICR is instructing KVKs has to generate 25% of their
all the views. Plant breeding is to cater to the increasing demand of the production potential of the local land races, except one or two like what we have in Kalajira. Most of the things have low productivity. So during the process of improving these, we have evolved and we have come up with new material. We cannot totally sideline it. We also have to look from the holistic perspective where we need to feed billions of people. We cannot just stick to only land races. I'm not undermining the importance of land races or traditional varieties. We need to take a holistic view, and that's why I said wherever we find the potential, integrate both the local formal and informal seed system and preserve it and improve it. And we cannot only support blindly a single variety or only two varieties. India is so big, world is so big, we need to cater to all the people, all the animals, creatures. So, balanced approach. So I think we had a very healthy discussion. Yeah, there are two farmer felicitations. May I have for that?
We will recognize two farmers now. We have Dr. Raimati Ghuria with us. Dr. Raimati Ghuria, she is known as the millet queen of Odisha, has preserved over 70 land races of rice and more than 30 land races of finger millets. She has promoted modern conservation methods and organic farming with the help of the MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. Raimati has trained around 2,500 farm families through a farm school by establishing a gene bank and a millet nursery also in her village. She leads the Bamandei Farmers Producer Company of Nuaguda and supplies millets crops to the Odisha government. For her unique efforts, she has been honored at both state and national levels, which is truly commendable. Next, we are going to recognize Sri Kapileshwara Samarath. Samarath is a well-known face of Churchuda village in Kasagamada block of Nabarampur district. He has played a key role in including the importance of crop diversity among the farmers of the village, assisted and supported by the MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. And he has set an example in his village by growing cereal, pulses, vegetables and oil crops in integrated farming methods. He has doubled his income by using the technology, and at the same time he has increased the income of the farmers of his area by giving his knowledge to the farmers of his area. His immense contribution is ever praiseworthy. Thank you. So I request a chair to deliver of appreciation to all the panelists. Dr. Bhetri Banan. Yeah, you can come, ma'am. Yeah. It will be Yeah, that Patra, sir. Dr. Oliver. Dr. Oliver. Dr. Oliver King, yeah. I request Dr. Oliver to present the appreciation to some. Only this one. And, no, this one also. This one also. This one, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So we are closing this first session now. Let's join to lunch and we will reassemble here at 2:45. Sorry, because we are going late, so 45 minutes quickly. Lunch is at HRD Center, next building. We will go there and we will have lunch there and come back. We will reassemble here at 2:45. Thank you all.